Good evening, everybody. I am Pam Petke, Vice Chair of the School Committee. Mr. Stevenson is absent today, so I get to take over these duties. Forgive me and keep me on track if I get a little lost. I call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock on the dot. And this meeting of the South Talon Granville Regional School Committee is being audio recorded. Erin is going to take attendance. If we could all please rise.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So in your packets, you should have the consent agenda for this evening. It is short. It consists only of the minutes from our August workshop, as well as the home education proposals to date. Does anybody have any questions, comments, amendments of the consent agenda? Right. Warrants are here. There are a bunch of them. They require your signatures, so I will pass those around. And Superintendent Willard, do we have any correspondence this evening?
We do not.
Right. Exactly. So that takes us to what Mr. Stevenson would say is the absolute best part of our meetings, and I think I usually agree. Oh, awesome.
Hi, Judy. Just a moment, please.
Do we need to do anything or just
on speaker? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
awesome? Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Judy, we just ran through the opening routine. So I believe you have a copy of the consent agenda in your digital packet. It's only the minutes and the home education proposals. But I just wanted to give you the opportunity to ask questions about that if you have any before we move on.
No, I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, all right. Well, then you called in for the best part. We have our student advisors from the regional school. Josh, senior Josh, is returning this year, and he has a new assistant or co-advisor. Taylor is a junior, and she is joining us for the very first time. So guys, we give you the floor.
Want to introduce yours? I mean, you kind of did introduce her.
Yeah.
I'm Taylor Hedges. I'm a junior in high school. I played for the lacrosse and field hockey team. I'm the girls field hockey varsity captain. I took a couple AP classes, honors classes for history and anatomy. Student council, part of that, and I did Students Against Disruptive Decisions last year. I think that pretty much sums it up.
That sums it up. All right, so the Southwick Regional School District is back in full swing and we're doing better than ever. Since the start of the year, we've seen a positive shift in student and teacher morale, overall school spirit, and we've seen a drop in destructive activities such as vaping and property damage. The senior class will be painting parking spots this Saturday, and the seniors are very excited to showcase their artistic skills, or lack thereof in my case. Seniors are also beginning to take advantage of our open campus privilege during lunch, which allows us to leave for lunch so long as our grades and attendance are in good standing.
So as student council started off the year strong with the school wide to boost morale and help build brand spirit. We've noticed a big shift in the level of maturity and just students being nicer to people overall. Class meetings went well, and we have welcomed our interim principal, Ms.
Oh yeah, I should have put doctor. That's what I was, see, I knew I was forgetting something.
She worked hard for this.
I know she did.
Well, thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions for us, representatives? So do you guys have to get your designs for your parking spots pre-approved? Do you bring your own paint or is that provided or do you purchase it with funds, your class funds?
I know they prime the spots with the class ones.
Okay, and then what about the actual like
We-
paint that
we're
you
just
need?
gonna have to do that,
Bring
yeah.
it yourself?
Yeah.
And are there rules about like what kind of paint you can use, like spray paint versus?
Yeah, they gave us a full,
Lots of.
pretty confident it was up to 5, but yeah, that's a lot of words. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Well, good luck. I
Thank
hope they come out nice. Look forward to seeing them.
me too.
All right, next up, we have our educational presentation. And we have Mr. Barata and Ms. North to present to us. Do you guys want to come up to the table?
Sure. And it's supposed to stay there.
Oh, yeah? Here, I'll bump over and I'll give you this spot. How's that?
We should do that. Kind of plays in perfectly. Thanks for leading, Josh. We almost like you set that up. So I'm here to present SRS Helping Hands. I don't know if you've gotten to see the slideshow. Or if you were able to see the video that we had sent earlier. So the butterfly effect is what this is based upon. Basically, the butterfly effect is do something and see how far you can spread it. And coming into this year, Dr. Bonneville and I and Shannon spent a lot of time this summer together, and we said, you know, we'd like to see a shift in the culture, not only in the building, but in the community as well. So that's where this comes in. So the inspiration, Shannon did this at Northwestern Regional School number 7 in Connecticut. It was pretty much, she tells me, her superintendent's baby. And to see some of the projects they did was really inspiring. We said, we don't see any reason that we can't do something like that at SRS. So at that point, Dr. Bonneville and we spoke with the superintendent, and everybody seemed to think it was a good idea, so we continued to look into it. So that's where our inspiration came from. So how this is going to work is students and teachers. So in the building, what we're looking for is, could be an individual, could be groups, to do something that makes a difference in the building and in the community. Anything good. We do already have some people that have presented to us. One of which is, there are some senior girls that would like to do what they're calling connections. They want to go to a local nursing home with board games and set up, playing with the seniors whenever it's convenient for them. Which I think is an awesome idea. That would be a great way to break in. And what they can do is, if we don't have the board games available or they're not donated, we are trying to put together a fund where we would have $100 mini grants. Where at the last district Shannon was at, the kid would take the $100, and if it was enough to do their project, they went ahead and did it, and then they would present, and then at the end of the year, we bring everybody together for a huge celebration. And again, we're hoping to make that like a community wide. If it's not enough, there was also kids that got very creative and took the $100 and would sell ribbons or do some sort of fundraiser on their own, and they would expand upon that, which was also pretty awesome to see. We're also really excited about the possibility. We have Melissa Hannafin and some other seniors presented the idea that they would like to do some murals, not only in the building. They would like to do something similar to the mural they do in the building, places in the community to tie the two together. Again, that's a work in progress, but it's gaining support. We have some teachers that are interested in supervising it. Again, that's one of the ones that would probably take more money than the 100, so we'll have to figure that part of it out. But it's gaining traction with students already. There's teachers that are excited about it. And like Josh said, it feels like a different building right now. Very positive. People are being nice, and we just kind of want to build on that. But I'm open to any questions. Anybody?
Have you rolled this out to students yet? It kind of sounds like you have a little bit, or just individual feelers or.
We have only brought it out to, what was it, national, no, it wasn't national society, student council. And student council was extremely receptive and started to spread it.
Okay,
We wanted to present here before we did something building wide, to get approval. And once we have that, we're ready to, get totally going. We have a design. And what we'd like to do is buy T-shirts for anybody that participates. So when they're in the community or wherever they're doing it, they have that, Helping Hands logo with like a Ram and Southwick Regional School on it. So that everybody can identify them. And also when they see those students, their automatic reaction is positive rather than any other type of question.
and is this open to all students, 7 through 12?
Yes, it is. The goal is all students, and again, a teacher may have an idea that they want to do with their whole class. That's, we're hoping for the butterfly effect. We're hoping that people see this, they see that kids are being recognized, that it's going well in the community and just it's contagious and it spreads. So if even people from the community, if they have something they'd like to do and they want to reach out or they need help with something. You know, of course, things with like labor hours or something would be better to start off with less money. You know, there may be an elderly couple in the community that students know about and know that they can't do it themselves and they don't have the funds. Maybe we could put together a group of kids and go there and do that for them. Those are the type of things that we're hoping to accomplish.
The only thing I would add is that we need to promote this. We need to have public relations, we need to get the press involved. And I'm sure there's a lot of civic organizations that would probably donate monies to help fund this, to get it off the ground.
Okay.
But we have to have a lunch with a certain individual in the next couple of weeks to make sure that we get this promoted the right way. When you are ready to promote it.
We're ready.
As soon as we have the okay, we're ready to launch.
You have the
Could
okay.
it trickle down to the younger grades too? Like
Well,
sending cards to people?
We're
Just a
hoping
little
to do
project?
that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No.
you. We're hoping to demonstrate it to them
Mhm.
so that it spreads. There's already some kids that are talking about coming down here to show them, and I don't know if it's gonna be to read to them or to show them how to do certain things so that the younger grades do want to participate. So that is already being discussed by a couple of the.
Random Acts of Kindness Club that's trying to branch down to the younger grades.
Cause I know they do have the kindness.
Yeah, they have a
club.
kindness club here, and so last year, for the first time, the random acts of kindness club from up came down. And they had that interaction, and we're hoping that will continue, and there'll be that back and forth.
We share. No one comes.
Do it.
Well, awesome. You certainly have our blessing.
Mhm.
Run with it. And, you know, I look forward to how you guys, to hearing how you guys roll it out to the entire student body. You know, I think that as always, the way that things are presented definitely will affect the amount of buy-in that you get. So that's really cool. I wish you luck. I can't wait to hear about some of the projects.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for taking good care of my purse. All right, so that brings us to report. Superintendent Willard, you are up next.
I just wanted to go over quickly just the enrollment for the 25-26 school year and also the trends that we are really starting to see. Last year was our smallest graduating class. I think we had like 86.
Like ever?
students That in my time here.
Wow.
This year we do have 97 students. But I want to compare that with the incoming kindergarten at 78 students, and that's including our students who come to us and via the MECO program and school choice slots. So we are at 78 in kindergarten. Now, last year we were had 88 in first grade this year, so we had 88, but we are definitely seeing a decline. When I started here, there was about well over 100 in each grade level, and now we're hoping, then we saw 90s, and now we're seeing the 80s. So we're gonna probably start seeing that decline of 10 students over time. So last year, our enrollment pre-K through 12 was 1,249. This year, we're 1,201. You have to remember, we did take out all of the WTA, and the Smith are no longer in our numbers this year.
So were our Voc students included in that number from last year?
Yes.
And they are not from this, for this year?
Yes.
Okay, and how many students does that entail? That's close to that number, that
Very
49
close.
right there
Mhm,
anyway. right?
Because remember, we lost 86 kids. And we have 78 coming in. We usually have a much larger class. Where if you look at this year's class that's leaving is 97 kids. And if we have like 77 or 78 next year, that's gonna be like a 20 student differential. Which is why we keep opening up school choice seats, because we do have the seats available. And we're gonna be approving some more tonight.
We said a large number of freshmen also to WTA and Smith. I just was looking at this morning, 21 students went as freshmen.
Now the numbers in parentheses in bold represent the number of school choice seats that we have. And am I correct, the ones that are not in bold down below with the stars are the ones that are actually enrolled or filled? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, so for kindergarten, we had 6 slots approved, we filled 5. In first grade, we had 5 slots approved, we filled 2. Second grade, 5, we filled 1. And you can see, like in 6th grade, we had 5 and we filled 4.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in years past, those seats are filled immediately and like we're turning people away.
Kindergarten and first grade, we usually are, yes.
So do these end up filling in over time or?
Mhm.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay.
Now remember, like in that 88 students, like, so say this year we have 5 students in kindergarten that we've already enrolled.
Right,
Like, say we open 5 seats again next year.
yes.
That would actually be like 10 school choice kids. If they all pay.
Right, exactly, because
So,
they're all, they
because we are-
become clumped into that
Right,
number.
so that
Right.
88 in first grade already includes the students who we received last year in school choice, so these are
Right.
just new.
Right, I understand that, but I mean, it looks like we have room to accept more
We do,
this year.
yes.
Now, I know that declining enrollment is not unique to this district.
Nope.
Do we have potential reasons as to why we are struggling with this along with many other communities?
It's a statewide trend, nationwide trend.
Just less babies?
It's a lot of it, it's less babies and smaller families and. But out, and people are moving a lot more out of the rural areas and more into the urban districts, because there are some districts out in the eastern part of the state that are seeing an increase in student enrollment. Don't think there's anybody I can think of in Western Mass. Maybe Agawam? But none of the, I don't know, I can't think of anybody in Western Mass. We had a meeting last Friday with the Secretary of Education and the Commissioner. And we were just talking about the decrease in enrollment and the need for rural aid, because we have to maintain programs. And really pushed for, getting qualified special ed teachers, and really, we cannot be cutting this because there's 232 districts in the state that only receive the minimum per pupil now. They're not getting it, they're all in the hold harmless. So we can't maintain school districts if we're all basically level funded except for the minimum per pupil allocation. You can't. $100 a student is not gonna cover a 14% increase in health insurance. And 3% raises for teachers and staff. It's just, it's not maintainable. And they cut rural school aid by $4 million, so out of a statewide budget that I can't even tell you is how much. They were asking for 16 million, which was level funded from last year, and they ended up cutting it by 4 million, so it was only 12 million. So when we presented the budget, we had anticipated it being no less than 16 million. They actually cut it down to 12 million. So we
So
will be
how
getting
does that
less.
impact our budget?
We don't actually have our rural aid allocation yet. They don't come out till like October. So. This time unknown. I mean, we can assume it'll be 75% of what we had last year.
Mhm.
And in that case, preliminarily at least, we can look to other funding sources such as school choice if we need to. However, you may or may not be aware that at the end of FY25, a supplemental budget was passed at the state level that fully funded transportation reimbursement for circuit breaker. So we didn't get that revenue till July, so it technically counts as FY26 revenue, but it's like $109,000. It's not chump change. So we could look to move stuff around with that if we need to. So at this point, I'm not sweating, I'm annoyed
Right.
about it, but I'm not I'm not freaking out.
Okay. And then the other thing is just the opening of school, and I have to tell you, it's my 10th year here, this has been the best opening of school I can remember ever having. The teacher morale on that first day was so high, and they loved everybody being there, and the teachers, we did a country themed welcome back. So we had like a southern barbecue with like pulled pork and mac and cheese and coleslaw and corn muffins and salad and fried chicken. And they just felt like they were treated like they should be. They should be. Like they just felt like it was so special, and that it felt special. And it was great to see them, and we had them all sitting in a room in the cafeteria, which was all decorated. And it was nice to see them all together and not have to come in shifts and fight the bees. But it was really nice to do it. And we had a lot of our school committee members there helping us. So it was a very positive opening day. And as I said, our own IT tech even sang a solo at one point during. Brittany, would you like to sing it again?
I believe
It was just, there was laughter, there was, it just felt lighter, and it felt like a really good start to the school year. So I just want to echo what both of you have said, that it feels different.
Congratulations.
To all the building principals and, Aaron, but it was a great beginning of the school year. And that's all I have for you.
That's out of my fault.
Mr. Director of Finance and Operations.
Well, I first I would
Right.
be remiss if I did not give a shout out to our food service staff for their part in the lunch that day. And it was some of the best pulled pork I've ever had in my life.
True.
I mean, and I'm not just saying.
Take that.
I
And my staff was shy to go up and get a shout out, but they really appreciated it. So.
They did an excellent job. So for the first part of my report tonight, I'm going to introduce to you two new members of our STGRSD team. In my first few months here, I lost two key positions to people leaving and going to other places. You obviously remember our supervisor of buildings and grounds had resigned last March. And as of June 30th, our food service director had also resigned. So or poached, however you want to do that. But in any event, I've been very fortunate to find two excellent people to replace them. So they're here tonight. I guess we can start with Eric Heavey, our new supervisor of buildings and grounds.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I don't know if you want to just, say a couple words about yourself and your experience or whatever.
Thank you. No, I come from coming from North Brookfield, which is central Mass. I've got about 15 years experience in the facilities industry. Also have 23 years on the fire department as a captain of fire prevention. And I've held several positions in the municipality, going to Board of Selectmen, Finance Committee, School Committee. So I have a,
Good choice. Good choice.
so I have a good idea of what's going on, so. And I'm excited to be here.
We've received nothing but positive feedback about him from all of our custodial staff as well.
As well as building principals too.
Yes, yes.
That's key.
Mhm.
Nice, awesome. Did this bring you to Western Mass or did something else bring you to Western Mass?
This job brought me to
That's
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
All right, and now our new Director of School Nutrition, Greta Schwachman.
Everybody. I actually had the pleasure of working with Eric in my previous district, so I was very excited to see him here again a little bit. It was nice to see a familiar face, but I'm brand new. I think I'm still on week 2 or maybe week 3 of the job. Also very excited to be here. And it does feel like a really nice welcome and, just in general. So like I said, excited to be here, excited to dive in, find out. I was sitting with some students in the cafeteria the other day, figure out what students want to eat, work on the menus, work on bringing more fresh produce, rainbow of fruits and vegetables to the cafeteria, some more diverse menu options. So just really excited to get started and dive in. And I come from Greenfield most recently. I was in Chicopee before that. I used to be a farm to school coordinator, so I'm also really interested in farm to school, supporting local agriculture. We're starting with the Harvest of the Month program. So each month we'll be featuring a local crop on our menu. So this month is tomatoes. We sourced some local cherry tomatoes last week from different farms, one farm out in Hudson Valley, and then from Atlas Farm in Deerfield. So that was really exciting. I was trying to convince the kids it's nature's candy. So we had a great time with that. Delicious. So just excited to get started.
That's cool. I'd love to see that program grow. As you know, we are an agricultural district. And we have local farms that have begged us to partner with them.
Well, I'm calling them and they aren't getting back to me. So if you want to give them my number, that would be, yeah.
That's awesome.
Gotta
Thank
get
you.
that Granville cheese down here.
Yeah.
You say cheeks, I'm there. Love it.
All right, so moving on, the second thing you'll see listed there is just an operating budget line item transfer request. It's in your packet in the amount of $50,000. Basically, the purpose of it is, I believe too much was budgeted for the professional development contracted services line. But consequently not enough was curriculum materials, correct? So rather than do it piecemeal and throughout the year do smaller transfers, it just makes sense because Aaron had to buy some pretty pricey curricular items in the last month or so. So we figured we'd just present the transfer tonight and should be good for the year, at least in that line. I think you vote on that later in the meeting, right? A couple of things that aren't on the agenda. I had emailed all of you except for Russ, because I don't think you were officially back yet. The day of the retreat where I was unable to make it due to a flat tire. I wanted to give the committee an update on what I would have talked about had I been there. One of the things was 2 different financing options for the capital money that we have to borrow this year for the track and for the boiler project design study. So I reached out to UFOSI about 3 weeks ago. They're the company that we usually use to do our borrowing. And the 2 folks that I met with basically presented 2 options. Number 1 is what we traditionally do. We borrow the money, we pay it back in 5-year increments, equal amounts of principal in each of those 5 years, and then interest as well. That's what we traditionally do. The other option, however, is we can
buy what's called a 1-year ban, which stands for bond anticipation note. And then you would then reapply for the other 4 years of the payback afterward. The reason why one would do this is if you anticipate an interest rate reduction, which I think a lot of people do right now. I mean, there's a lot of talk about the Fed lowering rates and so basically, if we were to go with option 2 now, and I talked to Chairman Stevenson about this as well, so he's on board. I think with the ban option, but while there's a little bit of risk, I mean, theoretically, rates could go up in the next year. But people in the know don't tend to think that that's likely. So we would basically pay the ban off in the first year, which would be next year. And then we would have to reapply for the financing for the additional 4 years. However, you do that with the anticipation that your interest rate's gonna be lower. So the model spreadsheet that the folks from UFOSI sent me, again, these rates are, they're not set in stone. We don't know what they're gonna be a year from now, but the 2 models they showed me, if we went with the ban option, it would save about $24,000 based on what they sent me over the life of the loan. I've never done that before, but I mean, it makes sense to me, at least the way that they presented it. However, I told them that I needed to bring it to the school committee. I certainly could not unilaterally make that decision. So I don't know that that requires an official vote because you already voted to do the borrowing back when you passed the budget. But I want the committee to kind of steer me in the direction that you want me to go in regarding that.
I'd rather hear from the finance expert on the committee because that would not be me.
I think Russ is on that one.
Well, I think you're absolutely correct. Interest rates are gonna be lower, so I think it's a smart move. It's a gamble, and life's a gamble.
Everything's a gamble, right? Yeah. And I personally do too, as I said, the way that, they're there to advise me, the people I met
Right.
with,
They're the experts, that's why we hire them.
So for this to work in our favor, interest rates need to be low a year from now. Now, how about after that? Like after we pay that off? Then for the rest of it, do we need those interest rates to remain low for the remaining 4 years, or do we do this like a year at a time?
Well, the ban itself will be paid back at a different interest rate. Okay, so that'll be paid at about 1 point below what current rates are now.
Okay,
And that repayment would take place next year.
okay,
The other 4 years, you'd lock in whatever the interest rate.
where
is
you're
the
at
time.
that point in
Yeah.
time, okay, that was my question.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. It's not something that I would have thought of on my own, but
Mhm.
again, that's why we work with the experts that, advise on.
I don't know this company that you deal with, or I guess I'm new to it, right?
They're a subsidiary of Unibank.
Do we ever look outside and see what another lending company might have to offer?
They're not the actual lender. What they do is they do the bidding work for us, essentially. They put together the RFQ, for lack of a better term. And then different banks will bid on what they give. So
Most municipalities do it that way. Even
Yeah.
town of Southwick will do it that way. We hire somebody that goes out into the market, finds us the best deal.
And I can say in my short time here, they've been good to work with, at least in my dealings with them.
Any other thoughts from?
All right, so I will contact them tomorrow then. I think what they'll want to do in terms of the, because there's some paperwork I believe the school committee is going to have to sign. I've not borrowed before, so this is new territory in my world, but looking at the paperwork from the last one, it seems that there's some things that the committee will have to sign. So they kind of like to time the actual borrowing around a school committee meeting. So I don't know if you want that on your next meeting agenda or if you want to punt it to the first October meeting. I would say in terms of the track, that work's not going to get done till next spring at this point anyway, because I don't think you have enough of a window between soccer season and when it's too cold to get that done.
So yeah, when are you anticipating the work being done?
Probably after track season.
After track season, so basically summer,
Yeah,
of
I
next year.
mean, like late May, early June, we
Right.
put track in.
right?
But we do want to get those design studies done, I think, sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
I don't know off the top of my head on exactly how long that design study would take.
Mhm.
But moving forward with our capital plan for FY 27, we're probably gonna wanna have one of those boilers on. You know, and in order to have a potential price for that, we're gonna need the design study done.
Mhm.
I would suggest, Madam Chairman, next meeting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, if nobody needs time to mull about it, then we might as well just throw it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah, and they don't like come here or anything, but I think they'll like prepare stuff to be signed, and then from there, it's like a 2 to 3 week turnaround time when you actually have the money in hand, so it's not that long. So the design study, you know, theoretically could start in November-ish, late October, early November. Which should already be able to be done by our house doctor.
Yep.
Vendor, which is good. That'll speed the process up as well. All right, other news, I'm just about to have an audit report supposedly. I've reached out to our external auditors on both our single audit report and our end of the year report audit. Our end of the year report audit, I reached out because I'm starting to do this year's end of the year report, and I would like to see what's wrong with last year's before I spend some time on this year's. However, there really wasn't much. They sent me a draft and it was really good. There wasn't any findings in it. Their higher ups have to review it first before they like finalize it, but it looked really good. Honestly, I mean, that's not an easy report to do, especially if you're not accustomed to doing it, but kudos to Superintendent Willard and our accountant Jessica Cody, who did all of it last year.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, to not have any, I mean, there's a couple of things they emailed about like as they were looking at it, but none of them are like findings. It was just like, where'd you get this or whatever, you know, there was like nothing. It was really good. So the single audit report, we got a draft back in May and still waiting on the final. However, we did get an email from Desi today, asking where it was, which prompted me to reach out to them and say, where is it? So that's the update on that. Probably also at your next meeting, I'm gonna ask, I think Rob would be the one that would fill it out. But I'm gonna need to be designated as the chief procurement officer of the district. Basically, it's just an online form. You go to the Inspector General's website and do it via DocuSign. They really should do it by position, not by name, which makes sense. I just can't find any evidence that that's been done in the past. Like I looked through all the files that my predecessors left me and all I was able to find was a blank form back when they wanted you to scan a paper one. So I don't know that this has been done in a while and it's probably a good idea that it gets done. I mean, it's more of a formality than anything, but in order to make sure you're following the procurement regulations, that'll have to be done. But I want Rob to like see the online form before we, you know, do anything. It's not gonna change anything between now and then. The only thing I can't do is write my own RFP. But I'm not gonna do that in the next 2 weeks. So we're good to go. Regarding that. All right, borrowing, new staff, transfer, audit report. I think that's all I got.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that brings us up to policies. In your packets, you have a copy of section G for final approval. Actually, no, you don't have a copy of the actual language. You have a copy of all an index of everything that's in there. I believe, Erin, correct me if I'm wrong, in our digital version, we have the whole thing. Am I right? Yes. Okay. So this is the second reading. In other words, this is the like ask now or forever hold your peace opportunity before the revisions to this section of our policy goes in for to be finalized. And then once it does, it will go onto both our website and site. So does anybody have any questions about the existing policy language in section G? Right? Then it is time for action items.
Move to approve consent agenda items as listed above, recommended.
Forgot my position.
That's actually mine, but still.
Yes.
All right, all in favor, please raise your hand. Let the record show motion passes 500. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Judy. 600. Thank you for keeping me on track. 600. Awesome. All right.
Move to approve the addition of curricula and materials language for the Southwick Regional School, Powder Mill School, and Woodland School 25-26 student handbooks recommended.
So moved.
Second.
Now this, I believe, was as recommended from Mask. Am I correct?
This is from the attorneys that work with us through Mass.
Okay.
In response to a Supreme Court decision over the summer, Mahmood versus Taylor, that I think I briefly mentioned, which allows a opt-out that is very different from the opt-out that Massachusetts has previously, but it's becoming a nationwide, nationwide change. And so one of the recommendations was to have this in all the handbooks to let people understand the opt-out option. We will then work with the principals and the teachers around this, what this is going to actually look like if someone is looking for an opt-out.
Questions? Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. Judy?
Yes.
All right, let the record show motion passes 600.
Move to approve the STGRSD District Strategic Plan 25-28, revised for the 25-26 school year, recommended.
Second.
Any questions or comments on that? All right, again, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, let the record show motion passes 600.
Move to approve the transfer of $50,000 from the Curriculum and Instruction General Contracted Services /PD account number 01000538000031000999900 to Curriculum and Instruction General Curriculum Materials and Supplies account number 01000542001310000999900 recommended.
Second.
Wow, I can't wait to read all of that. All right, anybody have any questions on that one? All in favor? Judy, you good? All right.
Yes.
Let the motion show, or let the record show motion passes 600.
Move to approve opening one kindergarten school choice seat for the 25-26 school year, recommended.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm getting back in the swing of things, okay?
And if I'm reading this correctly, we even already have that position filled, am I right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, let the record show motion passes 600.
Be it resolved that the Southwick Talling Granville Regional School Committee hereby extends its congratulations to Erica Emmelman in recognition of 4 years of excellence as a school committee member. We hereby convey our sincere appreciation for your valuable efforts, dedicated service, and assistance rendered, which has enhanced the image of the Southwick Talling Granville Regional Schools, and a record of these resolutions shall be permanently entered into the minutes of this school district. Recommended.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll let the record show the motion passes 600. Thank you, Erica. We will miss you. Come say hello to us every once in a while. All right, so now it's time for subcommittees and liaisons. And what I want to do is I want to take this opportunity to solidify who is going to serve on which committees. Because we've all submitted our requests or arm twist agreements. And I just want to like run through this and make sure that everybody is okay with this. So, and then as we go through it, let's just combine two birds together. And if you have any updates that you want to add, we'll just go through them and we can do it that way. Is that good? Okay, so negotiations typically has been Rob, Russ, and then we would love another. Russ, are you willing to continue to serve?
Correct.
Okay, all right. Is there anybody else that is interested in serving on the negotiations subcommittee? This is for negotiating contracts.
I just can't make it time work.
Okay.
I would be.
Is it Judy answer?
Is there additional days? They're gonna be.
So there will be additional days?
So it's about the right time, so.
It kind of comes, Ross, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of comes in 45.
3:45,
It does
but I think we only have one unit left
That's for this year.
Open, yeah.
for this year.
Yeah, by the end of this year, we will have to negotiate with the food service workers as well, because our contract is up on June 30th,
All right, so
26th.
it's 3:45, sometimes you can go to 6, 7. you know.
We don't work right now.
Okay.
I just didn't know.
Are there any negotiations updates that should be shared at this point in time?
We're meeting on
I have to be
Wednesday.
updated.
Meeting on Wednesday this week.
No, you're
All
as
right.
updated as we're meeting on Wednesday. You haven't missed one.
I didn't miss one?
Nope.
There you go. All right, so your
You
first.
waited until I got back?
Yes, we did. Russ, we waited for you. Your first meeting is Wednesday. You can fill us in at the next meeting. How's that? Awesome. All right. Finance Subcommittee, I have Judy, Jen, Russ, and Rob interested. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I'm still interested because that's what it was.
Okay, awesome. Very good. All right. Any updates on Finance Subcommittee at this point in time? All right.
I think Nick gave us all.
Yeah, we got Nick, we're in good hands. Policy, I have Rob, myself, and Ryan. Are we still good with that?
Does Rob say he wants to be on that? He told me he wants to move on from that.
Okay, okay.
He wants to stay.
He told you he wants to stay?
Until the sections all get
Okay.
completed.
Okay, he's
Then
gonna,
after
That's fine.
all right, that makes sense.
He was gonna pass the torch.
Right.
All right, that makes
Until the other
sense.
go.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And we have no updates as of right now. We have scheduled our fall meetings though, and we will continue to pick up where we left off in a very deep, intense policy by policy review and update, most of which have not been reviewed or updated since 2005. So we've been doing this for a couple of years. It's been a lengthy process. Okay, we have two subcommittees for LPVEC. One is the collaborative and the other is the corporation. So I have Melissa, who said that you would be interested in, and did you already have
I
a
have.
meeting?
I've attended one.
Awesome. And any updates for us to
It's
share?
just sort of open positions,
Okay.
salary, budget, where we're at with everything. There's gonna be a couple electric buses roaming around.
There is one.
I was already.
There's two in Southwick.
Just Lisa drives this model.
Just new things like that. Yeah, nothing really major. They're switching some of the, what do they call it? The shops. There's gonna be a couple moving out because there's no need for those jobs anymore supposedly. So some things like that are changing.
The electric buses, where they housed, do you know?
I think Agro, I believe.
Well, that's where they will live after they're not there anymore.
Yeah.
The electric ones are.
The electric ones, because I know
Those
we've got
have to
some
be.
here, and we've got some up in Granville,
It
but
was
the electric
interesting.
one.
They weren't quite sure how that was gonna go with the electric.
Yeah, after some cost
I
problems.
didn't even know we were gonna get any until it showed up.
Mm.
This is very quiet.
All right, well, thank you very much for doing that. And then the corporation, I have Judy as expressing interest in that. Are you still okay with that one, Judy?
Yes, that's fine.
Excellent, okay, and That one typically meets about 3 times a year, and it's more of like the finances of that entire organization. And then buildings and grounds, I have Russ and Rob. You still good with that, Russ?
Yeah, I wasn't on it before, but I can help out.
Oh,
Okay, all right. Right. How frequently, when and where does that one meet?
I have no idea.
It's not that often, but this year it might be a little bit more frequent, with the athletic master plan that Chair Stevenson has been.
Yeah, you know what, you want to throw me in on that one too? Only, and I don't, again. Times, I'm not sure, but if I can be there, I think I would like to be.
I think it'd be a great idea, especially with this, what Rob is looking at and things. like that.
It's a hefty project.
Right,
It's a very large.
It's a very hefty
very
project.
large.
I just kind of like to feel a little bit more know than I currently am.
Right.
So, I mean, again, my schedule is. Depends on when you guys meet. Obviously, I can't meet during the day. But if meetings take place after school and are not like super frequent, I wouldn't mind joining you guys on that.
It might be good also that I'm on it. I also got appointed to Community Preservation Committee.
oh,
Congratulations.
So
that's great.
if in fact that we're looking for funding.
We will.
Okay, awesome.
We have a woodland playground too. We're gonna be bringing to
Oh.
You better- My first meeting is the 17th.
All right,
So you better fill me in.
we'll tell Emma to get on that.
ILT is the instructional leadership team. That's currently myself and Ryan. That meets once a month up at SRS, and that's where we meet with a group of teachers and administrators from all 3 schools and discuss curricular stuff. So is there anybody else that is interested in adding on to that
So I think that one's gonna go to every other month.
Okay.
And buildings. So each building will have their own,
I will be
And then-
10 minutes late if I get to go in that.
so it'll be, you know, like each school will have one, then the next month representatives will come together and then they'll do one at their site and then one all
Okay.
together. So that we have a combination of conversation around what's happening at the building level with a larger group.
one?
And then they're able to bring just a few people to ILT to be a part of the entire district conversation.
Oh, cool, very cool. All right. Wellness. Currently, we have no wellness liaisons. They meet every other month on a Tuesday at 12:30 in the afternoon.
What does that entail?
That's
Coming here.
You eat lunch and you listen to somebody talk.
I told Rob I could do that one if it is at that time and it doesn't change.
It never
Like,
changes.
it
Never
never
changes.
changes. How long is that meeting?
An hour.
So I'm, depending on the Tuesday, I
I should
might
be
be
able
able to
to.
show up too.
Yeah.
It's not a full day,
Okay,
but if I'm working. that day.
okay, so I'll put Jen and Ryan on there.
I was on Zoom.
Okay.
All right.
I can also tell you, it does get canceled sometimes,
I will get the email.
just putting it up.
We have a sped liaison and a technology liaison that have met so infrequently that like I think I went the entire year being both of those and not meeting with either the special education director or the technology director. But we should meet with them once or twice a year for sure. Right now, it's Ryan and I on special education and myself and Judy on technology. I don't know that we need anybody else. It's so infrequent, we can just leave that if everybody's okay with that. Rob is our athletics liaison. He is interested in continuing on that. Russ is our Southwick Capital Committee liaison, which is awesome, right?
Absolutely. We worked very hard
Congratulations.
starting in January.
And then once a year in November in Hyannis, there is a conference that is a joint conference between the Massachusetts School Committee and superintendents organizations. And what we've done is rotated and sent different members in the past. So I know that Rob has gone in the past, I have gone in the past. I don't know if any of you guys are interested in going this year, but we are looking for somebody. It's really kind of just a learning experience. Lots of workshops, that kind of thing, you know, kind of professional development type stuff. But if anybody is interested in going
Do we
this
know the
year,
weekend yet?
No,
we do
haven't
have a
confirmed.
date that
Mhm.
has been released. It's
Usually
usually
right
early
before
November. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's usually
Like
early
the 8th?
November.
Yeah,
That's
We have to go
usually about
for
when
it.
it is.
I can't go, yeah. To make it. Well, I mean.
Oh, you do.
I do too, that's playing weekend for soccer.
Let me see if I can, I remember getting an
Do
email
I have
about this.
My weekend.
Let me see if I can tell you guys the actual dates. But we do need somebody, to go this year if interested.
the only day they have to go, I think, is Saturday, because that's the voting day.
Okay. Okay, there we go. I got it. All right, November 12th through the 14th.
Oh.
This year is November 12th through the 14th. It is a little bit later this year than normal.
Wow, it's-
Yep. Okay, in Hyannis. So anyway, just want to put that on your radar, think about it, and let Aaron know if you are interested.
It's during the week.
Yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Usually it is, let me pull up the calendar.
Usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Let's say 12.
That is, yeah, it's the 12th.
Yep, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 12 is, yep. Okay, and let's see, where does that take us? Clearly, I need to make public comment. Okay, yeah, but mine are
Right there.
provided. There we go, okay. Any public for comment?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Gail Brown at 85 North Long Yard. Well, both of us are here, but I was gonna say something first, but our son started 7th grade and our daughter is now in 9th grade, but going to Smith. But we went to orientation and I guess I was kind of shocked to hear that the year before, no cell phones. Now this year, it's like cell phones except for when you're actually physically in a class, so you can have it in between classes and kind of at lunch. And I just find that really disturbing. And I guess I wanted to know a little bit more on the reasoning behind that, because I feel like if anything, our kids need to learn how to socialize more and look at each other and not stare at their phones. And especially 7th grade, our son just got a phone, which he's not really attached to it, but I know there's some 7th graders that don't have a phone. So then I feel like they might feel like left out, like I'm like dumb kid without a phone. And I did ask him like how many people are using their phones at lunch and, you know, 7th grade, so who knows, but like he told me 40%, but then I asked him again today and he's like, well, actually less than that maybe now. And asked him the 8th graders and he said even more, but I don't really understand the reasoning behind it. It doesn't seem like in between classes, having your phone or checking it is so much a social issue, but I feel like at lunch, like it's a distraction to eating and they only have so much time to eat, and then it's a distraction to like having any kind of socialization with other kids. And then the second part of is like the no recess, which I just really, again, don't really understand why we're not going outside. And for any length of time throughout the day. So now, you know, he's basically in a building the whole day, or it seems like that's like there's no recess. And I feel like I don't know, other countries go outside all the time and we should be going outside more and at least 15 minutes. But I want to understand the reasoning behind it, and then I was really hoping that people would reconsider, because I feel like outside time is good for the body, and staring at each other and communicating is just so important at their age.
And yeah, and to follow up, you know, our son, he's had a fantastic start to the school year. Kind of echoing, you know, students' comments and Superintendent Willard, your comments. Everybody's inviting, and welcoming. So he's having a fantastic start. And you know, just kind of hearing about last year, our daughter doing the honor pouches and phones are away. It just seemed like a complete reversal. So really just want to understand the thought process, and there may be good reasons for it, but it's a complete reversal of last year, and we're curious of what the thought process is to really allow them to have their phones for 15 minutes when they're supposed to be eating, and then 15 minutes after when they, would traditionally have recess. Now they're allowed to be on their phones. So,
Happy to discuss this with you, Laura. If you want to give me a call, we'll set up an appointment.
I was gonna say, Dr. B, I will call Dr. B.
Okay.
For all your stuff.
You have to answer your questions.
Okay.
Well, thank you very
Yes,
much
thank you.
for coming to us, for sitting through the entire meeting. Because you have to sit through the whole thing just to get to public comment, for sharing your thoughts and your questions. I think they're very valid. Dr. B is absolutely the best person to have a conversation about with those thoughts. However, I do have to say that I'm hearing for the first time that yonder pouches are not a thing anymore. So I kind of would like to hear some of those very same answers.
I knew recess, I didn't know the other.
I heard about the Yonders as well, yeah.
I don't think they were effective, like, I mean,
I
they knew how to hack into them, they knew how to have their phone, but
Right.
I mean, there's still like, they still have to be secretive about it,
Right.
and I guess now it's like you can have it. That's fine, so.
So I'm sure that Dr. Barnum will be super responsive in talking to you. I don't know if the committee feels like we want to add to a educational presentation for future meetings about, what we're doing differently. And the rationale behind those changes, and maybe what we're seeing in our students. But that actually might be something that we want to consider. And I wouldn't be surprised if admin, would welcome the opportunity to share that with us. But I think that Dr. B is a good place to start with a one-on-one conversation.
I think that'd be a great idea. We spent a lot of time talking about this last year.
Yeah, we did.
So I think, yes,
Yeah, and we spent a lot of money on the younger
right,
pouches.
so I think.
So I
it'd be
wouldn't
for-
mind hearing about like what was good, what was not good, and why we've decided to go a different route. I think that that would be a educationally and fiscally responsible decision. So thank you for bringing that to our attention. And thank you, Dr. Manuel, for being willing to explain what you're doing and seeing. And then I would like to add that to a future meeting.
We can do it on our next one?
Sure. Okay, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And always feel free to reach out to Dr. B or me. And
Okay.
we'll steer you in the right direction. You don't have to sit through a whole meeting.
Very sure.
Open door.
But maybe this is a good opportunity to say to anybody who might be listening that if you have a question about the way things are working in any of our 3 schools, particularly if there is a procedural change that you would like more information on, the building principals are absolutely your first line of defense. And to call the building principals, reach out to them directly to get your immediate questions answered is absolutely the best way to go. And then, of course, we do always welcome anybody to attend our meetings for public comment. So that brings us to committee discussion. Looks like I jumped the gun, and I already took care of old business, but that's good. That saved us some time. Does anybody have any new business that they would like to discuss? Okay, well, I think that we can officially adjourn. I don't think I beat new records today, but we did all right. The meeting is adjourned at 7:00. Thank you. Look at that. Thank you, Josh. Look at you keeping me on.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. All right, so we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, so now the meeting is officially adjourned at 7:05 PM. Thank you all for being here.
Excellent job.